Crimson Trace's laser saddle is a feature-packed laser sighting solution for Mossberg 500, 590, and 590 Shockwave 12-gauge shotguns. Available as a red or green laser. Buy it now at crimsontrace.com.
Welcome to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, where there's more to talk about than shooting. There's reloading and hunting and self-defense, too.
All right, we are back with you. Tom Gresham here, visiting with Ryan Gresham, and we're in the Centennial Gun Club. It's a gun club just south of Denver out here in Colorado, having a bunch of fun at their Firearms Festival. 4,000 or 5,000 people of our closest friends here, all talking guns here. And so we're sitting there, Ryan and I are sitting there at breakfast, and a fellow walks over and says, hey, you want to talk guns, basically?
Yeah.
Walt, I had not met you before. Walt, is it Proulx?
Proulx. Walt Proulx.
Proulx, all right, thank you. And you shoot for Wilson Combat, but also we're going to also talk about what you're doing with this incredible range out in, would you call that the Western Slope?
The Western Slope, yeah.
Okay, of Colorado. All right. So first of all, Wilson Combat, you're here doing demos. You're a competition shooter.
Correct.
Been
Yep.
shooting like 112 years?
For a while now.
Pretty close.
Yeah, for
Pretty
a while.
close, exactly. Okay, how'd you get started?
I've been a lifelong outdoorsman, and I've been shooting my whole life. And, many years ago, I shot some revolver competitions when I lived out in Oregon. And when my son became old enough, in my opinion, to handle pistols safely, 12, we just started looking for an outlet where we could, compete at club level matches. Yeah, that's right. And so we found IDPA and USPSA and found ourselves shooting a local club match somewhere near us every single weekend. Yeah.
Give me an idea. People say, how much do people shoot? You're a competitive shooter. How much do you shoot a year, you think? How many rounds?
Oh, that varies widely with competitors, but I would say that the average is 30,000 rounds. Yeah, and I'm probably right in that ballpark.
Right. And it's why we were talking about it this week when someone says, wow, they found 1,000 rounds of ammo or something.
Yeah, right. The police, they discovered an arms cache. He had 3 guns and 1,000 rounds.
And for people who are into this, you go, I mean...
Yeah. That's not even a good morning.
It's a weekend of shooting or whatever,
Right. It really is. It's amazing. So, all right. So, Wilson Combat.
Yeah.
People know, I mean, this company's been making great guns for decades. Mm-hmm. All right. But also known as a 1911 company. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, certainly at the grassroots level. You bet.
When Bill Wilson started out as a 1911 company.
Yeah.
All right. But much more than that these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
And located in northern Arkansas.
Berryville,
Arkansas. Mm-hmm. And you got this cool, Ryan's looking at the picture over here. Mm-hmm. You guys just talk about this pistol, because it's like, holy cow.
So you're right. So known for 1911s, but so much more. You guys have long guns. When someone says, who's Wilson Combat, what do you tell them?
Wilson Combat is the world's finest custom firearm builder. There are certainly some boutique options out there that are perhaps somewhat more artistic in nature and typically smaller scale, longer build times. But as far as bringing true custom quality hand-fit firearms to the masses, no one has even come close to what Wilson Combat does.
And that's an important thing to know. These are not just we're building 1911s. These are very high-end.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
This is aspirational.
At the same time, there are people who are building $8,000 1911s.
Right.
These are not those.
These are
in that $2,500 to $4,000 range. Sound about right?
Yeah, that's right. The meat of it is right in there. Of course, you can elect some fancy engraving and go as high as you want.
There is no top end. You can always go up, right?
Yeah.
But you made the point this morning, I think, where you're talking about, but you buy this, and in 10 years it's still worth what you paid for it, or something close to it. Whereas
or more.
Whereas you buy your ATV, and what happens to that?
Yeah, it's worth nothing. Worth less as soon as you drive it off the lot, and certainly in 10 years, you're lucky if you can sell it at all.
Right, exactly right.
So what are some of the new things you guys are doing? Because we were talking about some carry guns that are pretty neat.
Yeah, so Bill Wilson and his amazing engineering staff designed the Edc X9, which my son Austin and I both got to help test and evaluate, and we're both rather hard to impress with new things, and we did not want to return the thing. It's great. It's a true 1911 double stack gun that Bill and his group have managed to build with a grip that's no larger than a 1911 grip. It's marginally larger in one dimension and marginally smaller in the other. So for smaller hands, it's an amazing 15-round double stack compact carry gun.
And you're saying the grip is not larger than a single stack, which is amazing.
Yeah, and it's an engineering masterpiece the way that they put the grip panel together to go on there that way. So.
For people who like the 1911 style, if you're a real shooter, every real shooter really likes 1911s. But if they go, yeah, but this
I'm not going to jump into that can of worms.
No.
Although I agree with you.
Well, what I'm saying is this gets rid of the but.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
It's like, yeah, I love 1911s, but I wouldn't carry it. It's a single stack. It's a day. This is like, okay, you get the 1911 without the butts.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Without the butts.
So how's it shoot?
It shoots like a 1911. When we were testing it out, we were shooting a 12-inch plate at 100 yards, just
really
again and again and again and again, which we expect to be able to do with a 5-inch 1911.
Sure.
And this thing again, from the trigger group up, it's essentially a 1911. So,
but it's a 9mm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the Edc X9 L. Talk about that one.
So that one does have the butt.
Okay.
For lack of better words. You can get it with a magwell extension, which allows you to run even higher capacity magazines. It's the same gun, only in a grown-up version. It's a 5-inch gun rather than a compact.
Gotcha.
And one of my teammates, Mandy Beckman, has been competing with that exclusively this year, and she runs that every bit as well as she does her CQB Elite standard 1911. So.
All right, so there are a lot of gun owners out there who have come into the gun world in the last 5 to 10 years, and maybe they're on the younger side, and they're buying up, they're interested in handguns, they're buying the Glocks and the Springfield Armories and the MMPs and different, striker-fired polymer guns.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of folks out there may not be familiar with 1911s or 1911 style guns. Why should they be?
Oh, the list of whys is endless, both from a performance standpoint and a nostalgic standpoint and a history standpoint. It's the granddaddy of all modern auto-loading pistols, including in many respects the striker-fired guns. They owe their lineage.
You could call it the first real fighting pistol.
That's correct.
Oh yeah,
and it's still legitimate to this day. You watch top-level competitors running a 1911, and it's right there. You look at the open guns that are getting run in USPSA; those are modified 1911s essentially. They hold more bullets, but
that's a good point. When given the option, they basically start with a 1911.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I got to switch on you here because you're basically doing two things. You've got the whole Wilson Combat thing, but then you start telling me about this shooting range out in the middle of no freaking where, which is
that's
unbelievable.
Home to me.
Tell us about this thing.
It's in my backyard, not the middle of nowhere. So the Cameo Shooting and Education Complex is a modern, world-class, state-of-the-art facility in the process of construction. We'll probably be going through about a 10-year build-out. It's owned and operated by Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and its mission is to reverse this generational trend away from the hunting culture, shall we say. And the way that Colorado Parks and Wildlife thought to do that is through recreational shooting sports, and it's not just rifles and pistols; it's archery, it's and the education component of the facility as well. It truly fulfills the obligation of Colorado Parks and Wildlife in every way imaginable, mostly through outreach to kids and women and other underrepresented groups in.
And you're laying it out. First of all, where is it?
It's just east of Grand Junction on I-70, about 4 miles away.
And you're telling me about the construction. You're laying like 10 gigabit fiber optic, and I mean this is going to be really a modern operation.
Yeah. So phase 1 is complete, and it's the Action Shooting Sports Pavilion. It covers just 25 of the 2,000 acres available. And as you mentioned, it's got a built-in Wi-Fi system to accommodate all of the modern scoring applications, but also to be ready for media. If we could simultaneously live feed high-def drone footage on all 20 bays at once.
You could stream from there.
We could live stream high-def video. We've got a 10-gig enterprise network.
Since that's what we do, Ryan's going, baby.
Yeah, and you're welcome to come join us.
We can come out there. We could do live streaming shooting events.
Exactly correct.
We're going to have the IDPA Nationals?
Yeah, IDPA Nationals in 2020, and possibly the World Championship in 23. And
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's hard to deny the suitability of this range, and logistically, it has the lowest chance of a rain event at any facility in the country. We have 8 inches of rain a year, for crying out loud.
We get that in an afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. It's 15 minutes from a regional airport served by 4 major airlines.
Yeah.
There are plenty of hotels and restaurants right there. This will be the first quote-unquote Uberable range that I've ever heard of.
There you go, an Uberable range.
We have actually had people come and compete that didn't rent a car. They just Ubered to the range.
Well, and also, what we're seeing here at Centennial is what you guys are talking about. If you want to reverse the trend of people getting away from shooting and hunting and those things, you have to give them a reason to come. They have time and they have dollars, and they're going to choose to do what they want with it, whether that is going to Top Golf or going to, see a sporting event or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I think we as a gun culture have to do better, and these types of places is what people want.
Is there a website where people can find out about the range?
Yeah, so on the Colorado Parks and Wildlife website, there's a web page for it. But if you search directly for the Cameo Shooting and Education Complex, it'll get you to our page. There's also a Facebook page for it. So.
Okay. We're going to revisit this at some point. We don't have enough time right now because this is really cool, and we're both itching to get out there and take a look at this place, man.
Love to have you.
That would be so much fun. Walt, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Obviously, WilsonCombat.com for more information about that. And we'll get you back on and talk about the range, okay?
Love to do it.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. All right, don't go far, folks. We'll be right back.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at TimneyTriggers.com.
This is Ryan Gresham with Gun Talk. Visit guntalk.com/win to enter our latest giveaway for a chance to win a Kimber in September. Our grand prize winner receives the Kimber Evo SP Custom Shop 9mm handgun, a collaborative design between engineers and gunsmiths, with stainless steel slide, G10 grips, True Glow Tritium Pro sights, and 2 7-round magazines. Enter now through September 27th at guntalk.com/win.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
This is Jeff with Black Hills Ammunition. Shooters looking for ultimate performance in 300 blackout will be pleased with our new 110 grain tip TSX load. This round performs well through tough barriers such as car doors and windshields, making it a great choice for police patrol rifles. It also provides superior performance on whitetails and monster hogs. This round is a great all-around thermal performer. Black Hills Ammunition, the power of performance.
Well, we do the old hot seat deal here where one jumps up and somebody else jumps in.
Bring them on through.
That's right. We got
lots of cool people to talk to here.
We got tons of people over here. We're having a bunch of fun here at the Centennial Gun Club. They're having this Firearms Festival, and so there are a lot of vendors here, Ryan. and it's a chance to see things that you might not have seen before. You may have heard of them. Some of them you may not have even heard of.
There are so many new technologies happening in the world of guns, optics, ammunition, accessories, and you see it in SHOT Show, the growth of that. And there's always new stuff where I go, wow, okay, that's totally different.
Well, we got a great example sitting right in front of you here. I'm going to let you introduce Craig Knight.
All right, Craig, Shell Shock Technologies. I'm familiar a little bit, but I don't know if the audience is. What you guys have been doing in the world of ammunition. Tell us about it.
Well, Shell Shock was formed just over 4 years ago, and our goal was to create an alternative to the brass cartridge, to focus on the worldwide need for a lighter weight, lower cost, efficient cartridge to replace brass. So our company was started with that goal in mind. We introduced our 9mm case about a year after we were formed, and we're getting ready to issue our first rifle cases in about a month. I brought along some examples of them, and to show you the impact of how they work.
So, for people who don't understand, what are they made of? Because how are lighter and you can reload them, all this stuff.
Okay, so we looked at this and we decided that we could use stainless steel and aluminum to make a case that could be up to 50% lighter than brass and cheaper to manufacture than brass. So there are three key principles in our business. One, we had to make it out of raw materials that cost less than brass, which is basically copper, right? Okay, we had to make it perform better than brass, and we had to make the process of making it more efficient than brass. So a stainless steel case is made of flat stock. It's not made from a cup, and it's not made from wire. So the process is faster to make it, and ultimately that is cheaper to the consumer.
Now, lighter, that's maybe more of a concern for military, perhaps? How do the consumers need that?
Well, lighter and cheaper.
Well, cheaper is always good.
Cheaper is good, yes.
So cheaper is always good, right? So let me give you an example here. I'm going to let you hold two cases that we're about to introduce. This is a 5.56 case, classic military case. This is the 300 blackout. Both of these will be available to the general public in October.
Okay.
Now, they are 50% to 60. Actually, the 300 blackout is more like 60% lighter than a brass case.
And these are a two-piece case? Is that the right way to put it?
Two-piece case. The base is made of stainless steel or aluminum, and the actual case, the actual cylinder itself is made of stainless steel. I want you to rub them and feel how lubricious they are.
Yeah, because that's been one of the issues with stainless steel or with aluminum is that they can gall, they can get a little sticky.
Now, that's not so much with stainless steel, it's with steel. They do
steel
gall.
cases.
Okay.
But stainless steel has nickel in it.
Oh, okay.
So what we do is we use a very high degree of nickel in the stainless steel. So it's more lubricious than a nickel-plated brass case.
Oh.
And in fact is with the services, we've tested these with the U.S. Army. We're able to improve the fire rate up to 10% on most of their guns.
Really?
Because it's so much slicker.
The cyclic rate's going up.
So it can actually help make the gun more reliable.
And also
run faster.
And yes, run faster. It's more efficient. It dissipates heat faster, and so it has less likely to jam.
That's fantastic.
But let me give you an illustration of how this works. You're a soldier. You've got to carry 210 rounds of ammunition, right? So a fully loaded round using our case is typically a third lighter, right? So a third lighter. You have 3 brass cases. You should be able to get 4 of our cases loaded with the exact same grain bullet.
You carry 30% or 33% more.
Here.
For the same weight.
Okay, put in both hands.
All right, what he's doing is he's handing Ryan in his 2 hands ammo, 2 different, was it 4 rounds each?
4 rounds and 3 rounds. So 3 rounds
4 rounds of ours, 3 rounds of brass.
And they weigh about the same.
They weigh about the same. Yeah.
So you could carry a 30% more loadout.
Or 30% less.
Or 30% less
weight, right?
Weight, right.
Well, and also what's interesting is...
Isn't that amazing?
A lot of times when you have these technologies, you go, yeah, and they're really great, but it is going to cost a little bit more. But
no,
that's not the case.
Less.
That's going to cost less.
No, you don't understand. You're not supposed to charge less.
Yeah, you're supposed to charge more
like
when you
this. You got to charge more for it.
You've got it all wrong.
Okay, we sell our cases. Our 9mm case sells for anywhere between 5.5 and 6 cents.
Okay, but what about reloading?
Yeah.
They go, okay, so it's less, but...
Okay, a 9mm case, the record for the 9mm case for loading is 101 times.
Reloading the case 101 times.
Right.
Now, out of a particular...
You're not going to do that with brass.
No.
What do you get out of brass? 10?
10.
But here's why. You don't have to size it. You see...
So you're not working it.
Right. So what happens with stainless steel, this will fire form to your gun, but more importantly, it has such tensile strength and elasticity, it comes back virtually to the same size.
Wow.
So most of the times, our guys, we make a special, because it's 2 pieces, we make a special sizing die that does not pull from the bottom, but pushes it out of the die.
Okay.
But we found that most guys don't have to do that. All they have to do is put the bullet in, clean it in soap and water.
Really?
There's no tumbling, there's nothing. Just clean it in soap and water, right?
This
Dry
is really
it out,
different.
Dry it out, put your bullet in, and touch crimp it. Now, most people don't even crimp our cases because the tensile strength, again, in the stainless steel, if we size the mouth right, it just holds the bullet.
Now, people ask, what about strength, pressure testing, all that stuff?
Okay, so we've had our 9mm at 70,000 pounds of pressure.
Versus what are you going to get out of a standard case?
Brass cases vary so much, but I don't think you'd want to go more than 40,000 pounds in a brass case.
Sounds about right.
And our cases have been, the 5.56 case has been tested at 78,000 pounds, and the 300 blackout has been tested at about
all right. So
50,000.
for more information, shellshocktechnologies.com, is that the best place for people to go?
That's right.
And we're going to have some more news about factory ammo and some other things coming out shortly.
Coming out in the next couple weeks, yes.
Okay. Keep us posted, would you? Let us know, what's going on here.
Yeah, we'd like to get you in and let you shoot some of it and tell your listeners about it.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool
Greg,
stuff.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Very cool stuff you guys are doing.
Thank you.
All right. You take care. All righty. That was cool stuff, man.
Yeah. And you can get in loaded ammo, too.
Yeah, that's right. You get it loaded ammo, and it's just a chance to do something different. Again, technology working its way in. We'll be talking about a little bit more of that, and also training when we come back right here on Gun Talk.
I heard the click, click, click of her stiletto heels coming down the hall. And I caught her perfume before she opened the door to my office. And she stood there looking like $1,000,000 tax-free. I want to talk to you, she said. Come back later, I said. I'm listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk right now.
All right, back with you here. Ryan and I are just sitting there talking, swapping stories. Been this past week, there's a lot of things going on in the news. Obviously, the Beto thing, but you missed the tweet from Geraldo Rivera.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what old Geraldo said.
Puts out a tweet that says, AR-15 ownership equals small penis.
What?
Which the beauty of it was, all the comments to his tweet from all the women who own AR-15s.
Yeah, going, man, you are a jerk and a dummy.
And a dummy. Also, on top of all that, it was hilarious to watch. It's like, once again,
trying to shame people.
Well, and also he's working off of a stereotype.
Yeah.
It's just bubbas, it's just guys, and these mothers are saying, hey, I own AR-15s, I shoot AR-15s, I like hunting with them, I like competition with them. I have one as my home defense firearm.
Right.
And so that whole shaming thing, I'm sorry, Geraldo, once again, you have looked like a fool.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who is interested in guns is old, white, and male.
Right.
Not the case.
Well, look around right where we are.
There are 5,000 people coming in through the doors today, and they are not all old or white or male. Actually,
no.
It's a really diverse group. And I was actually, the event I was at this week, we had all mixes of people. We had a lady who's she was in the Air Force for a long time.
Right.
But she's neither a male or a white person. So
okay. Yeah, there you go.
You got them all over the place.
All right. We also had the news this week. Gun sales were up 15.5% over last year. Actually, you're saying second highest?
Second highest on record, second highest August ever for gun sales, just behind 2016.
Which was the crazy year.
Busy with the crazy election stuff. So people are buying guns.
Well, they're not just buying guns, but they're building guns, and that's an interesting deal. That's a whole different deal. And you were just over at Palmetto State Army. They're selling 100,000 lowers, a year. There are other companies doing 100,000 lowers a year, and those actually don't even show up under the category of rifle with ATF.
Yeah, it's not a rifle, but people, when it comes specific to AR-15s especially, a lot of people enjoy doing the build, and it's like, an erector set or something like that. You can go, I'm going to pick out this trigger and this handguard.
What was the guy just telling you? You were just talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about a guy I just met here. And, I like to ask people, what's your favorite gun? He says, well, I'm doing an AR-10 build right now. And we talked a little bit about that and how he changed out the buffer tube because the recoil, he didn't like the recoil impulse, and that helped a lot.
Right.
So it's not just you can customize it, but you can also make the gun what you want it to be. And then I said, well, what's the next thing you're wanting to buy? And I just kept thinking, what guns do you want to buy?
Right.
He said, well, I think I want to do an AR-15 build. So for him, it's not about just, I'm going to go buy this gun. He's one of those tinkerers.
It's not a case of, I want to have this gun. I'm just going to go buy a gun. The attraction for him is the process of building the gun.
Right.
And picking and choosing and using different parts. I am very much reminded of back when people used to do projects in their garages with their cars.
Absolutely. That's what this is.
And that really is what they're doing. That's a whole different demographic. That's a whole different group that's actually being catered to by an entire industry. You think about Brownells and what they have with their AR-15 builder and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just so fun. And then you have all these aftermarket companies that are making interesting products. I was talking to them about muzzle brakes and muzzle devices to tone down the recoil. Man, they are amazing these days.
Oh, they're so effective.
They make a difference.
If all you ever shot is a stock gun and you haven't tried one of these advanced muzzle brakes, you can't believe that you can just shoot out of an AR. You can stay right on target, shoot, and you're seeing the hits and you never come off target.
Yeah, that's great because obviously for competition, shooting faster, keeping it on target. If you're, lots of different uses. If you're using it
for hunting.
For hunting.
Follow-up shots.
Yeah.
Being able to see your hit, follow up if need be.
And long-range shooting, too. If you can,
your hits.
In the recoil, you can see the miss or see the hit, and then you can follow up. And one of the reasons for that is in a long-range shooting situation, you don't want the wind to switch.
Right. So you want to be able to put the second shot on it while you still have the same wind condition.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons some people like using semi-autos, and even a bolt-action gun.
They work them fast.
Suppressors, those help with recoil as well.
Sure. Yeah, the guys if you're training for this stuff, you shoot, work the bolt real fast, get back on, and try to get all your shots in the same wind conditions if you possibly can.
Exactly.
All right. Tell you what, when we come back, we're going to talk about training and basically what it's like to run an operation like the Centennial Gun Club, where you have all of these different ranges. It is a pretty interesting deal, and they're also doing some really interesting and innovative things with the ranges here.
Yeah, new technology on the range.
There you go. Be right back.
Marry a hot semi-automatic rifle with a state-of-the-art optic, and you get a double handful of awesome. The Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2 optic-ready rifle in 5.56 NATO comes with a Picatinny rail gas block, topped with the Crimson Trace CTS 103 optic. You get both red and green dot reticles, the rifle you want, the optic you crave, at a price you can afford. Visit smith-wesson.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Batagroup. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
For 25 years, Crimson Trace has led the industry in laser and light technology and customer service. Now, Crimson Trace is proud to offer electronic sights and rifle scopes for tactical, target, and hunting applications, with the same Crimson Trace offer of free batteries for life on all products. The new rifle scope line is also backed by an unconditional lifetime warranty from the brand that you have trusted for over 2 decades. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
We are rounding third, headed toward home here. We're having a bunch of fun here. We are, and we mentioned Ryan, with the Centennial Gun Club, which is pretty cool. We've been watching people walk. I mean, what do you think? 4,000 or 5,000 people?
That's what they said. Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's a lot of people coming through here.
Joined by John Gonsalves. How'd I do? Yeah, got it.
Perfect.
All right, and he's director of training here at Centennial Gun Club. How long have you been here?
I've been here since the day's open. Since we opened 7 years ago.
7 years ago. Yeah. Okay, and this place is hopping. Holy cow! I mean, and I've been here when you weren't having the event, and it's always hopping here.
It is. It's always busy.
And people have to make a reservation, and they come in and they shoot at the ranges. First of all, tell us about the ranges that you have set up here.
Well, basically, we have 4 different bays, and each bay has at least 10 lanes in each one.
Okay.
We have our Statesman Bay, which is for the upper-level membership folks here. Then we have our Bay 2, which is the where you would find the VAST system, the Virtual Active Shooting Target System. So that's on that bay, and then we have some other games and things that we can play on Bay 3, and then Bay 4, which is called our Tactical Bay,
right,
is the one that's set up mostly for training classes.
Okay. What type of classes do you guys offer here?
You know, we have 42 different classes in our portfolio, and that's everything from the NSSF First Shots program,
right,
all the way through tactical training if people want to go that far with
So
us.
for somebody who's never handled a gun before, as far as they want to go, you can take them.
That's it.
We were just talking about how the gun owner and gun enthusiasts, gun shooters, are not who the public thinks they are. You know, it's like, and we're looking around at just the diversity of people. Now, you guys have folks coming through training. Talk about the diversity of people coming through the training.
It is very diverse. You get a little bit of everything through the door. What we've noticed, and we've documented, and we've run our reports and everything, the ladies,
yes,
are growing.
Yes,
women shooters.
Okay, now is it
fastest growing?
Are they coming in through the self-defense door? Is that the thing that gets them in originally?
It gets them in originally because they want to get into that protection of self.
Right. Sure. Right.
And we dial them back just a little bit because they don't realize how much training it takes just to get to that point.
Right.
And we'll get them in our beginner classes or maybe a little bit advanced if they shot a couple, 2-3 times, and just bring them along.
Do they then like say, okay, this is fun, I think I want to keep doing it?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, all right, question, obvious question, but do you have like women's leagues, women's groups, or do you have like individual groups of women who come out and they all shoot together?
Yes, we actually have a program called A Girl and a Gun.
Oh, sure. National program.
Yep,
yes.
National program. We run our own chapter here through the club.
Right.
But what kind of stuff does someone, if a woman's listening and saying, that sounds interesting, what kind of stuff do they do?
They do a lot of stuff. They'll come in on a typical night and they will go through their normal meeting procedure because it's a league, national, so they have things they have to do when they meet. Once that's over, they'll go out and just sharpen their skills.
Okay.
On a specific.
A bunch of women get together and shoot.
Yep. And then they'll come in on the next meeting and they'll do a bowling pin match.
Okay.
They'll come in on the next meeting and they'll shoot steel targets.
They're just having fun shooting.
That's it. And once a quarter, they actually do bullets and breakfast.
Really?
Okay. They come here and shoot when we open at 9 in the morning, and then they go to breakfast when they're done.
I see a lot of kids here. Do you have an age limit for shooting here?
10 years old.
Okay.
Yep, 10 and older, and we'll take them on the range.
Now, is there a youth class? Since you guys have these classes?
The youth class is the National Shooting Sports First Shots class.
Gotcha.
That's the youth class. That'll get them in.
Gotcha.
Most of our classes can be attended as long as the parents are there with them.
Okay.
So they're not really outrageous, crazy kind of classes.
Sure.
We're sitting here right behind you. I'm looking at this big wall that says rental guns. What's the value of a shooting range that has a wide selection of rental guns?
Really, this is what I tell all of my students. You're at the point where you need to make that decision. You want to see what is out there. It's like buying a car.
Sure.
Test drive it.
Test drive it.
Yeah.
Each gun is different. Each person is different. You have to be matched up with the proper firearm to shoot well.
But before you can do that, you have to know how to shoot. I've always told people, they say, well, what gun should I buy? I say, well, if you're new to this, don't buy a gun yet. Go get a lesson. Learn how to shoot. And a place like this, you can rent a gun, and you could actually have an instructor say, look, I'm going to get you 3 guns for you to try. I mean, I'm assuming that's how you guys operate. Why don't you fill me in?
Well, if someone comes in and they're brand new,
right?
We can offer them private instruction. One-on-one with an instructor, 90 minutes.
Right.
And we will get them through the first 30 minutes in the classroom going through the skill set. Make sure something is there that we can work with. And then we'll take them out for 60 minutes and just shoot. And like you said, we'll bring out at least 3 firearms with us. Let them touch each one to see how it feels and how it reacts.
Well, going back to that car analogy, it would be like if you had never driven a car and then you just go buy one.
Right.
A lot of people do that with guns.
Oh, yeah. Well, and to take that analogy forward, the problem is you'd say, I'm just going to buy a car. I got a pickup truck, but actually what I needed was a small car.
Yeah.
Or I bought a little car, and I really needed an SUV, but I didn't know the difference.
Right.
You know? And I'm looking at the wall over there. You got subcompacts, you got full-size pistols, you got long guns, you got everything else. One of the things your eyes lit up a little while ago when you're thinking, you could rent machine guns here.
Yes. Yeah. We talked a little bit about that. And, there's a lot of places around the country, but people go, man, a machine gun. So talk about the process if somebody comes in and says, I want to shoot a machine gun.
That is actually quite simple. They come in the front door. If they're a shooter already, and even if they're not, we will take them through the process.
Yeah.
We don't just let folks go out with our full auto firearms.
No.
So there's always
got to be a
safety officer there
sure.
or an instructor there with them to guide them along the way. But they come in, they'll purchase the rental time, they'll purchase their ammo, and they'll go out and shoot, and you cannot absolutely wipe the grin off their face when they come back in. Because it is an experience.
It is.
Truly an experience.
I mean, it's like, and they do that, and then they go, can I do it again?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yep. That's fantastic.
And then,
how fun.
Then you have the guys coming in doing their bachelor parties.
Sure.
You'll have the birthday parties.
Sure.
You get all these folks
this has become a destination. People have told me, said, my boyfriend took me there on our first date.
What's also important is, in the world our world is everything has to be shareable. And what's more shareable than shooting a gun, and especially what's more shareable than shooting a machine gun? And now you can get the word out to all of your friends and family and all that to go like, look at this, I went over to this place, Centennial Gun Club, I got to shoot this. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on a second here, John. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back. Talking with John Gonsalves. And we're at the Centennial Gun Club. Talk about cool targets. And actually, there are ways that you can combine games with serious training. We'll come back, talk about that. We're having way too much fun here. I also want to thank the folks at Freedom 93.7, our local affiliate here, who've been so good at taking care of us and making sure we're on the air and everything's working here. So
awesome station.
Awesome station, in the Denver area, just great. So we appreciate that very much.
Just freedom going all the way to Wyoming.
Freedom beaming all over this part of the world. I mean, as they say, we got the big stick here. You got a lot of power and a big stick way up high. That'll work every time. We're at the Centennial Gun Club. We're talking with John. John, just for a second, you guys are just putting in or have put in this system where it's kind of a gamification, but it actually is training. It's putting people into a self-defense situation. It trains up their brains, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. We're fortunate that we were part of the startup with the VAS system. When they came in a year ago, it was all fun and games.
Yeah?
It was just nothing but an arcade game.
Okay.
But it still gave people an opportunity to practice different skills that they've been trying to practice but had nowhere to practice.
And you can shoot your actual firearm.
You shoot your actual firearm
on a video setup.
Yep.
So for someone who's listening, explain what this would be like.
You can go in there and hit a button, and you can play Battleship. Everybody's played Battleship at least once in their lifetime. Now you're going to do it with a live firearm.
And you're shooting at a video screen, is that right?
Video screen. Right. Yep.
Wow.
It's a special screen that analyzes the shot.
That's fantastic. How fun is that?
Using live ammo, your gun, the whole deal.
And
you can do all these different video setups. And also you can use it for that shoot, don't shoot kind of scenarios.
So we're breaking into the shoot, don't shoot scenarios currently. We should have somewhere around 200 of them by the end of the year.
Yeah, and we do that with our first-person defender series. And you get that. We invented an acronym, we call it INTOT, I-N-T-O-T. Every time they say, I never thought of that.
INTOT.
Right?
Yep.
INTOT.
Yep.
So you go, okay. They react. They go, wow. First of all, it happened so fast, right? Never saw that coming.
Yep.
And what you're doing with these deals is you're training your brain to recognize things faster so you can react faster.
Yep.
And that's huge.
Get past that whole, I never thought of this.
Or this can't be happening.
I can't believe this is happening right now.
Exactly. So we're teaching them to pick up on all those situational cues.
Exactly.
Here they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. What would you be looking for?
Yeah. Why did he drop his shoulder? What was that leaning in for?
Mm-hmm. And you go back and replay it and go, okay, now I see it. I didn't see it the first time through.
Yeah.
You know, it's fabulous. I love what you've done here. This is a true country club.
Yes, it is.
You know, and it's servicing the market, and the market's responding incredibly well. I mean, it's like, any place that has this kind of population base ought to have this kind of facility.
Sure. Yep.
It's good to see. And, you know, we kept saying it throughout the broadcast is you can bring anyone here, and they're going to feel comfortable. Yes. A new person, a person that's maybe nervous about guns or whatever it may be, you guys are going to walk them through the whole process.
I mean, it looks almost like an Apple store when you walk in. It's like, it's cool. It's a cool place to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've chosen our staff wisely, making sure that they know how to talk to people.
Right.
Because that's step one. You have to know how to talk to them.
They have to be comfortable.
Get the info.
That's it. Yep. They have to be comfortable.
Yep.
It is terrific. John, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you guys have been doing here. It is a really great facility. We appreciate being invited out to be a part of this great event. It's something else. And for those who are in the area, if you missed it, because you're hearing this on Sunday, the event was on Saturday, then make a note you're going to do it next year.
That's it.
So get plugged in, come out to the range, first of all, discover it, because it's phenomenal.
Great place to start, whether you know nothing or whatever.
And if you want to introduce somebody to it, what better place? You have instructors who can help you do that.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Ryan, thank you so much for coming out here and helping me do this. This is fun. Meantime, guntalk.com, Facebook,
YouTube, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire.
We're everywhere.
You can sign up to win a Kimber. Go to guntalk.com/win.
That'll go. All righty. Have a great time. Go out and do some shooting. Take somebody with you.